Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wake Up Call number 584. I am so excited about our call today because I have a special guest on. We've been talking about her all week behind her back in a good way. But I'm very, very excited to welcome a doTERRA leader who is using mailbox power to build her doTERRA business. And with that, I'd like to welcome this phenomenal woman to the call, Tiffany Sosa. Welcome to the call.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm one of those, I catch your replays later because they happen while I'm at work, and work has really picked up lately. And that's why we're here, because mailbox power has played a huge role in that.
That is, and I'm so excited to hear that. So Tiffany and I have a weekly call where we chit chat and brainstorm and figure things out for her doTERRA business. And one of the things that she mentioned a couple of weeks ago to me was how great things are going. And I said, well, it's time we got an update. So if you've missed any of our previous interviews with Tiffany, we did a lunch and learn with her, and Helen's going to post that in the chat. Please don't click on it until after this call. Don't watch it until after this call, but Helen will put that lunch and learn in the chat. And there was also another follow-up interview that we did on one of these morning calls a little while after that. So I encourage you to go back and watch those. We're not going to recap all of that information because we have fresh data. And that's one of the reasons that we keep in such close contact with Tiffany, is that she is not only willing to do this, and she's been using mailbox power, but she's one of the very few people that is willing to keep track of her stats and not just go with a gut like, I think things are getting better. It feels like it's getting better. None of that stuff. I mean, we do say that to each other. We do say it looks like things are picking up, but then every single thing that she's going to talk about today and everything we've talked about in the past is quantifiable. It's based on data. It's not based on gut feelings. It's not based on our intuition or anything like that. It's based on data. And so with that, Tiffany, when you and I were chatting a couple of weeks ago and you were sharing some of the fantastic things that have been happening, I think that day or shortly around that time, recently around that time, you had received a text from someone who just got a birthday card from you. It wasn't really anything to do with building your business or some of the other things that we'll talk about today that you send out, but you got a text message from someone who got your birthday card.
Yeah. And she said, oh my gosh, Tiffany, I just got this in the mail. And she sent me a picture of the card. And she's like, no wonder you're so successful. And I was like, I never said I was successful. She's just jumping to that conclusion. But she's referred people to me. And everybody that she refers, of course, gets started. So I think that she's just kind of putting two and two together.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that kind of feedback, I mean, that is, we spend a lot of time thinking about how can we promote products and how can we get people involved and how can we make sure nobody's left out and all of these things. And Tiffany is an educator at heart. She's an educator. So every single thing that she sends out has some educational aspect to it, which I will say, Tiffany, has resulted in increased sales for you.
Yeah, and it took some sending, experimenting, right? Because yes, we know that when we send stuff out, it gets us in front of our people, but the messaging needed to be tweaked. And I can talk science about essential oils and plant-based supplements all day long, but if it's only like brain messaging, logic messaging, it's not going to work unless I realize I also have to address emotions. And so I learned a little bit about emotion-based marketing and kind of inserted some of that as I've been working on cards. And I can kind of I've been tracking how it's influenced people's orders. And I definitely see that the cards that I'm sending are influencing what they buy. And that's not easy to do. And if you are in direct sales and you feel like it's really difficult for me to tell what kind of effect my cards are having, it's not easy. When you've got thousands of people in your downline, what you can do is you can do test groups, right? And then you've got a smaller number that you can run it in, you can run it to, and then you can go into their orders. Hopefully you have a back office where you're able to see what they purchased. If they purchased what was on the card that you sent, then you know you're having an effect. I've also learned that it's more effective to send a series of 3 or 4 cards to 100 people versus sending one card to 400 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a huge learning experience for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, and we've been down this path in talking, Tiffany, about you'll send one card and maybe not get great results from it. Maybe even hear from a few people. The second card hits, it wakes a few more people up. The third card hits and you start gaining some traction there. And that's what you've been able to track firsthand with stats based on, and this is the greatest part about what you're doing. I mean, besides the results, right? Besides the fact that your sales have gone up. And I want to talk about that. And I want to talk about some of the results you've been having lately, including the nice one that put the smile on your face this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about those results, but I also want to talk about the fact that Tiffany at one point, and I hope I'm not oversharing, but at one point she felt like it was a little bit stagnant, like her organization was a little bit stagnant, and she was trying to resurrect the dead, if you will.
Mm-hmm. COVID flipped my team for a loop. We're in a different space now. And so a lot of people kind of freeze.
Yeah, they really do. And then you saw the results though, in trying to brainstorm and figure out how to reach out to people. One of the things that Tiffany told me back, when we first started talking about this was, I don't feel like people are hearing me. I'm putting all this information out there, but I feel like nobody's seeing what I'm posting in the group that they're all members of on social media. Can you speak to that, Tiff?
Oh my gosh, yes. The Facebook algorithm over the last 2 or 3 years has gotten increasingly tough. And the people who are in my Facebook essential oil users group just aren't seeing the things that we're sharing. And so they're not learning. And if they're not learning, they don't know how to use their stuff. And then they kind of, fall off the wagon. Mm-hmm. Mailbox Power has allowed me to share information with them. And so one of the things that I did as soon as I could is I created an automation, and I thought, what are the things that they need, that a new customer needs to know? They need to know about the different product lines we have. They need to know how to access their account. They need to know how the loyalty rewards program works, right? They need to know, anyway, so I just made a list. Then I made an automation. And this has been the best thing ever. So they get a big card, they get a big gigagram. Well, first they get a thank you for your order. Then they get a big gigagram that outlines a lot of the things that I just mentioned. But then, because I don't like to fire hose people and there's a lot to learn over time, I made a 12-touch automation over the course of the next year. They're all personalized. They all contain QR codes so that they can go and learn more. But the basic info is on the back in case they don't want to scan a QR code or they don't know how. And I've seen my loyalty for my new enrollees, I've seen them get on the loyalty reward, like the monthly auto ship. I've seen that increase dramatically. I've seen the size of the orders increase. I've seen people refer more people to me as a result. I get comments like, like just last week, this lady brought her sister to me and she said, listen, Tiffany's going to take care of you. I know you've done other things in the past with, natural medicine or whatever, and you didn't know how to use it. Tiffany's going to take care of you. She's going to send you cards all the time. And people tell me that they hold on to these like recipes, like a box of recipes. And so they may not need this particular information right now, but they do later and they know where to go. Just grab it. They don't throw them away.
Yeah. Yeah. That is valuable information. And in a world where a lot of companies are just sending things out digitally, they're just sending an email and saying, well, people can click and they can get this information if they want it. It doesn't have the same impact as these cards that are landing in their mailbox from Tiffany with her contact information, with beautiful pictures and graphics on them. But most importantly, with that QR code so they can find the information, and it's right there in front of them. I think it's phenomenal. Hey, Tiffany, let's talk about your average order, because you just took a look at that, the volume, your average order, say last year or the year before.
Yeah, so my average enrollment order has tripled. And my, yes, and what else can I say?
So your average enrollment order has tripled, meaning the
Yes.
value of that enrollment order.
That's right. That's
Now,
right.
I'm assuming that there's a direct correlation between the average enrollment order and how you get paid.
Yeah, no question about that. So we have one of the ways that we get paid is like a weekly bonus based on the orders of the new people that we've brought in recently. And man, it's been awesome. So we have bonuses that are like promos from the company. I have not won. I mean, I've always been a consistent enroller, but I've never been a large volume enroller. I've never enrolled tons and tons of people every month. I don't have a huge social media presence and stuff like that, but I've been consistent, and really, to me, that's more important. And so what has happened since I've started using, Mailbox Power and incorporating that into how I operate, so for the last 3 months in a row, I've won the company incentive for enrollments. And thank you. And I was just showing Vanessa the paycheck that we get from the new enrollees. That part of my paycheck has increased 518%. I woke up this morning and I got the most recent bank deposit, and I was like, I texted it to Vanessa. I'm like, look at
this. So is it working? The answer is yes. Tiffany, one of the things you shared with me last week was the fact that your orders, just all the orders, not the enrollment orders, but the orders in your organization have averaged about 150 personal volume, or PV, in the past 7 years. And that has now doubled.
They're over 300.
Now they're over 300.
Consistently.
Again, I want to draw the lines for all of you who are in direct sales or network marketing. There's a direct correlation between what people are spending and what you're getting paid, the commissions you get on that. Yeah. So when her average order, which by the way, it takes a lot to change the number of an average order, because that's the little people that only order one oil and your enrollment orders that are nice and big. So the average order, it takes an awful lot to move that number, especially when you have an enormous organization like Tiffany has. That takes an awful lot to move that number. It is more than doubled. It has more than doubled since she began using Mailbox Power to grow and support her doTERRA business. Now, I don't want that to get lost on people. That is huge. That is massive. I don't think anyone can point to, in fact, in my 25 plus years in this industry, I can't point to one single thing that doubled the average order of an organization that size. I can't think of one single thing that has done that. And here Tiffany's doing it with Mailbox Power. And the fact that she has been diligent in educating people, diligent in getting them the information they need. Tiffany, after people go through, they get the welcome card, they get those 12 months, 12 months of cards on different oils and how to use them and things like that. But you also have something that you put in place for your leaders.
Right. So I'm working on an automation right now that's going to help me with onboarding. So I'm not going to try and teach them how to do what I do just through cards, but the cards will lead them to the company information that they need to know bit by bit over time, and lead them to webinars that I've done and posted online, so that someone who is wanting to duplicate what I do will be able to. and I can send them my mailbox power templates, and I can send them my automations. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to duplicate. It's duplicatable. Another thing that I did recently, you know how we get, like, I've got an executive account, so we get what, 200 free greeting cards every month. So I have a birthday automation and I have other card automations, but I still have a lot of cards left over because I haven't completely got everybody on birthday cards. However, I don't want those free cards to go to waste. But what happens in my world is I've got leaders, I've got builders who are trying to share samples, and they're trying to grow their businesses. So I have stacks of these these are cards, these are greeting cards, and I have them shipped to me or shipped to my leaders. And what I made were cards that would make it easy for them to sample. So for example, I just sent a great big stack of stress and sleep and pain relief cards to my people. And then all they have to do is take the card and make a sample and give it to someone. So that has resulted in a lot of people being able to easily come to our team, because all of the difficulty of explaining how to use the sample and all of it's just all there. And it's, you know, it's beautiful, you know, just like, I was thinking of you. Here's the directions on how to use the sample. Here's the message. Here's the invitation for them to come to our weekly Zoom class where they can actually learn. And then all my business builder has to do is just sign the bottom with their phone number.
This is for belly to belly marketing, right?
Exactly.
This is not, you know, she's getting a stack of them for people who go to these networking events and to other things where they're meeting people face to face, and they're able to hand them a sample right there. Tiffany, also talk about the deep blue sample with the 5 samples and the cards that you're sending out.
So I've got a lot of people in my organization who are just casual sharers. They want to share with their mom and their sister. They don't want to necessarily build a business, but they found something that helps them and they want to be able to share it. So I wanted to make it easy for them. So I put together that very similar card. This says, I'm thinking of you, and it's got how to use the sample and the invitation to the class. I put 5 of these and 5 samples in a mailer with this one postcard. And it says, Robert, I know Robert's my husband, but it'll have their name. Robert, I know you love your oils. Chances are people around you could use them too. I'd like to help. And then on the back, I give them just very simple directions on how they can share a card and a sample with someone they care about, and to encourage them to come to the Zoom class, right? So that way I can get make it easy for them to be able to share with the people that they care about without feeling salesy. So just very casually. Another thing that I have done is I've created an automation with Vanessa's help. I had to learn how to do that, but once we had it going, it was awesome. So I have an automation that when someone clicks on my link, it triggers, and Michael and Brenda will know this because they got it. It triggers a link to, the link triggers the card to be sent. So they get a sample, right? That same card that I keep showing you. I'm not making new things. I'm just finding different way to use the same thing. So getting like multiple use out of it. So it sends the sample and the card with the directions on how to use it. And then a few days later, a follow-up card asking if they've got questions. And then mine has my picture on it. I made this one for one of my team members, but directions on like some commonly, asked questions. And then here is a QR code to view a webinar that I recorded on some of the most commonly asked questions.
Yeah.
So that has been awesome when I go to virtual networking groups. I can just drop that link in the chat. People can click on it. It triggers the card. I got a text message that so-and-so got my card. Then I can follow up and have a conversation with them and see
Yeah.
where it goes from there.
Awesome. Awesome. I know that last time doTERRA introduced some new products, you sent out a postcard. This was months ago, and it generated $36,000 in sales for you in your organization.
Yeah.
I also know that I'm on your mailing list, and I just got a brand new announcement card for a brand new product line that doTERRA just introduced, and you're making sure I know about it.
Yeah.
It's got Tiffany's contact information and the QR code on the back to get more information. Tiffany, I can't wait to see the results of this, because
Mhm.
here's the cool thing about cards like this. This is a brand new product line. So any sales that are generated from this, we know are the result of Tiffany letting people know, because she's one of the leaders. She got to find out that the products are coming before they officially launch them.
So they're
So,
not available yet.
oh, am I
No,
showing?
no. Yes, we're promoting. We're promoting. They go on sale tomorrow.
Whoops. Anyway, so because she's one of the leaders, she got access to the graphics and everything to talk about the new products and make sure. So they're not even launched yet. And I got this in my mailbox 2 or 3 days ago. So she is able to get ahead of the curve and let people know what's coming
Yeah.
and get them the information. And so we know that the sales that are generated on her team, especially when it first launches, are generated from her sending out this card and notifying people that these things are coming, that this is going to be happening.
Right.
So that's exciting. I can't wait to see what the results are of that, Tiffany.
Yes.
I'm really excited to see how many sales are, especially it's a timely product. This is a sun care line. So it's going to be a very timely product for the summer, obviously. So I can't wait to see the results of that one.
Yeah, me too. You know, I sent the first card out, but now I'm working on an automation that I can send that highlights each one of the products separately. And you know, a lot of times when we send things out, I was a teacher, guys. I was a teacher and an education administrator for years. When you're educating and you're sharing information, a lot of times you never hear back from your quote unquote students, right? You only find out later. In a few cases, someone will say, you know what, you really touched my life, or there was a lesson that you taught that I really remember. And I feel that same way about the cards that we send. Most people, unless it's part of their personality to say thank you, most people will never say anything. You'll never hear from them, but don't think that it's fallen on deaf ears, and don't think that it's not having an effect, because they feel seen, they feel cared for, and you feel heard, which for me was my biggest problem. I didn't feel like my message was getting out.
Yeah. And we talked about that yesterday, and I said, you're being heard. And she said, but they're feeling seen. And that was a really powerful thing, because a lot of times, especially in this industry in network marketing, direct sales, people spend so much time on the recruiting part of it, and they get someone to sign up and they get that first order. And then that poor person never knows how to use the product, never hears from them again. And it happens time and time again. And that's why people get kind of a bad reputation in the industry. Tiffany's got a stellar reputation because she takes care of people. She's teaching them how to use from the very first contact and the very first card they receive, all the way until they're a leader on her team. She is supporting and nurturing that relationship every step of the way. And she's taking a look at where there might be holes in that relationship, and she's willing to plug those holes with whatever means she needs to do, so that they feel taken care of.
And I think that most of us who are in direct sales are in it because we genuinely believe in our product and we love it. And we have every intention of being that person who is consistent and who doesn't lose track and who doesn't let people fall through the cracks. But once you get, you know, more than 30 or 40 people, like once you get thousands of people, especially, it is impossible to stay in touch with them. And like, here, guys, look, the bottom line is we all want to make money and save time.
Yeah.
And this is what Mailbox Power is doing for me. I can't express, I always tell Vanessa every time I see her, I feel like this huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And a lot of that weight was a feeling of guilt that I had all these people who had trusted me and had invested in a product that I shared with them, but then I lost touch. There's not enough time in the day to stay in contact with all those people.
Yeah.
And now it's automated and it's beautiful. And it looks like, guys, if you have not done a transparent image, wait a minute, with your signature, hold on.
Yeah.
You need to put your, where are my signatures?
Here, I've got one.
They're on like every card. Yeah.
Right there.
People, it looks like you signed the card.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
and
worth
that
the
has
energy.
impact. That has huge impact. Also, she's using first name on the front of the card, Vanessa, like it's right there. That has impact. These are little details that make people feel phenomenal. Okay, we're running out of time, but Tiffany, I want to summarize because we were talking about time management, you and I were, and the fact that now you feel that people are taken care of, that's kind of freed up your time for other activities. Can you speak to that just in summary? Since you've implemented using Mailbox Power to keep in touch with people and all the automations and things that you've put into place, what has that done for you and what has that done for your business in summary?
It's helped me to scale up. It frees my time so that I can be having these conversations with people, so that I can be, teaching classes and talking to groups and meeting power partners. And and again, knowing that every single person, who comes my way, whether they want to order the product or whether they want to build the business, there's something there for them that will walk them through a process. And it's the same process, and it's duplicatable, and it's automated, and it's awesome.
Simplification, duplication. Her sales have gone up. Her commissions have gone up. She's winning things that she hasn't won since pre-COVID in terms of bonuses and things that they get for enrollments. So these are little simple things that she's been able to achieve in less than a year, would you say, Tiffany? How long has it been since you started doing this?
Yes, less than a year.
Less than a year. Less than a year, her average order doubled. Less than a year, her enrollment orders tripled. Less than a year.
We started talking, I started learning Mailbox Power in September of last year.
That's crazy good. Those are crazy good results, And the fact that Tiffany is willing to share with everybody and share what she's doing and the secret to her success, not only with everyone on her team, but cross-line people and everybody that wants to use Mailbox Power to grow their business as well. She has got a servant heart. And Tiffany, I cannot thank you enough for all that you're doing and all that you're willing to share with all of us on how you're building and supporting your doTERRA business with Mailbox Power. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm just so grateful for this platform and this community. It's not all coming from me. There's so many people that I see, faces on here that I see that I collaborate with, I get ideas from. So thank you for letting me share what I have.
You're awesome. Thanks so much. All right, guys. This has been a phenomenal call. I'm really excited that now all of you are armed with this knowledge. If you know anybody in the direct sales business, if you know anybody in network marketing, share this with them. We'll post the call, but share this information with them. Helen has posted the previous calls we've done with Tiffany in the chat so that you can grab those really quickly before we get out of here, and make sure you have those at your fingertips as well. They're, I believe they're hosted on YouTube. One of them is in the user group. You can certainly have access to that. So make sure that you share this information with other people because they're struggling right now. Their companies are not telling them how to do these things. They're just not. So they're wondering how they're going to support their business or grow their business. And in this case, really grow their check, right, Tiffany?
Yeah.
It's been awesome. All right, guys. Is Marie here, or is that you, Helen? Marie, what do we have here?
Yes,
Marie is here. There you are.
Vanessa. Thanks, Tiffany. This was awesome. And I do want to remind everyone to save the chat. Brenda and Michael just put that note in the chat. So do save the chat. There's all the links to the previous Tiffany videos are in there. Today we have one event, Vanessa, 12 noon, Mailbox Power 101 with Bruce Waterman, and the link is mailboxtraining.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Marie. Anybody have a quote you'd like to close us out with today? Gail.
Okay, this one I think speaks to where Tiffany's coming from. That was absolutely inspiring, Tiffany. Thank you so much. That was incredible. Thank you, Vanessa, for bringing her on today.
Absolutely.
People are like sticks of dynamite. The power's on the inside, but nothing happens until the fuse gets lit. And that's what she's doing. She's lighting the fuses.
Love it. Thank you, Gail. Perfect quote to close out this call. Again, Tiffany, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, wisdom, and expertise with us and your results. We appreciate it so very much. All right, everybody, get out of here. Done for you, training partners. Stick around. We're going to have a meeting right now, but otherwise, thank you all so much. We'll see you tomorrow.